Hi, and welcome back to Storytime with Nana Lynn. We have been working on the book, The Unwanted Kitten. We're currently up to chapter 4, and we are going to dive right in because when we left last time, Sky was kind of confused. Okay, so chapter 4, A Sudden Escape. By Monday morning, Sky was even more confused. Lucy gave her lots of cuddles and was wonderful to play with when they were on their own. But as soon as anyone else came into the kitchen, she would pretend that she couldn't even see Sky. It was awful. Sky couldn't help feeling that she must have done something wrong, and she was desperate to make it better. Lucy's mom was trying to keep her in the kitchen until she settled in, but Sky had other ideas. She wanted to follow Lucy everywhere. She trailed determinedly around the house after her and tried to climb into Lucy's lap every time she sat down. Lucy was sitting at the table eating breakfast, so she tried it again now. But Lucy gave her one quick, unhappy glance and slid her off. She crept back to her basket, her whiskers drooping. Ethan made a huffing noise at Lucy, as though he thought she was being mean. "Here, Sky," he muttered, holding out his hand. "Kitty, kitty." Sky sniffed his fingers politely. But it was Lucy she really wanted. She gave him a little purr as he tickled her ears, though. Then she looked up hopefully at Lucy one last time, but she was staring firmly at her cereal bowl. Lucy's mom was watching them as she buttered some more toast. "We've got to be really careful not to let Sky out of the house today when our new sofa is delivered. She isn't big enough to go outside yet." Lucy shrugged and saw her mom give her a worried look. She was obviously thinking that Lucy still hadn't changed her mind about Sky. Lucy stared into her cereal, but things were going just as she'd planned, and she never felt so miserable. School seemed even worse on Monday. A few times during class, Lucy glanced at the red-haired girl, hoping she would look back, but she never did. It would be so good to have someone to talk to. And the red-haired girl, Lucy was pretty sure her name was Izzy, had seemed friendly before. At dismissal, Lucy trailed silently down the road after her mom. "Did you meet anyone nice today?" her mom asked cheerfully. "No, there isn't anyone nice." "Oh." Her mom looked upset, and Lucy felt a bit guilty. Lucy glared at the new house as they turned on to their road. Then she grinned. Sky was perched on the back of the new sofa in the front room, peering out. Lucy blew her a kiss as Mom fumbled for her keys, and Sky made a flying leap off the sofa. Eventually, Lucy's mom opened the door, and Sky shot out. "Oh, catch her, Lucy. We can't let her get into the road." Lucy tried to grab the kitten, but Sky was too fast for her. Sky danced all around the yard, enjoying the game of chase. She hadn't had any time with Lucy today, and now Lucy was giving her lots of attention. She hid behind a large plant, her tail swishing excitingly, waiting to jump out. "Sky, here, kitty, kitty." Lucy was creeping closer. She could see Sky's whiskers twitching from behind those big leaves. She jumped behind the plant, and her hands closed on nothing as Sky clambered onto the wall. "I'll go and get some cat treats," Lucy's mom said. "Just try to keep her in the yard, Lucy, please." "Oh, Sky," whispered Lucy as Mom disappeared into the house. "I know I haven't been very nice, but don't run off, please. Come on." Sky stretched out to sniff Lucy's fingers as Lucy slowly moved closer. Lucy's eyes were bright and wet, and she looked so sad. Sky rubbed her head against Lucy's hand, hoping to cheer her up, and Lucy smiled a little. "You're so beautiful," Lucy said, as she scooped the kitten off the wall and into her arms. She brushed her cheek against Sky's face, and Sky purred happily. Gazing down the road, Lucy blinked in surprise. There was Izzy, turning the corner with a bigger girl who had the same red hair. They looked so alike. They had to be sisters. Did Izzy live on this road too? Lucy watched hopefully as the two girls walked along the road and stopped at a house a couple of doors down. Izzy suddenly looked around and caught Lucy's eye, and Lucy blushed, embarrassed to be caught staring. Izzy gave Lucy a quick smile and a tiny wave, almost as though she were shy too. Then she followed her sister up the path. Lucy held Sky close, imagining how great it would be to have a friend living just across the road. They could walk to school together, maybe have sleepovers at each other's houses. She'd always gone by car to her old school, and none of her friends lived anywhere close, not even Ellie. Without thinking, she rubbed Sky gently behind the ears, making her close her eyes and purr with delight. "So you caught her, then?" Lucy's mom was now standing right beside her, holding a packet of cat treats and smiling. Lucy looked up, still lost in her thoughts, and then she remembered. Ellie was her friend, not Izzy. She didn't want a kitten to make her forget. She didn't want a kitten at all. She told her parents that. She stuffed Sky into Mom's arms and dashed into the house, but she could hear Sky meowing, and she longed to rush back and cuddle her again. And that is the end of chapter 4. So I guess we're just going to have to keep reading to see what's going to happen. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye.